Hi, in this video I'm going to give a basic demonstration of how to use TXV, which is the visual engine in the TX Modular system. In the first part I'll take an image and I'll add some effect to it. In the second part I'll make a simple picture of a wind turbine and I'll animate it with an LFO. To start with, I've opened the TX Modular. I'll add a TXV system module, which is right at the end of the sources list. The TXV system module is really just a control panel for TXV, which is actually a separate piece of software. So I need to first open TXV. On my system you can see the Start TXV button, but if you're not using the Mac OS X standalone version of the TX Modular, the green button won't be there. In that case you will have hopefully downloaded a copy of TXV, so you can open that separately. I'll show you what happens if I open a separate copy of TXV, not using the green button. A black window appears saying TXV status ready. That means it's ready to receive instructions, so I'll make a connection from the TX Modular to TXV using the button Connect to TXV. When I press the button, the yellow status box will change from Not Connected to TXV System Connected. And on the TXV window it now says Status System Connected. So now the two systems are connected together. I'll just change the window size. If I had used the green button to open TXV, then TX Modular would have automatically connected to it and I wouldn't have needed to press the connect button. But if the TXV is opened separately, then you do need to press the connect button. For a general introduction to the TXV, there is a help button which opens a help window. There are various links to get you started, like TXV General Introduction and also a list of TXV modules. Below that there is help for all the system parameters, but for now I'll close the help file and start building a TXV system. The first thing I'll do is click on the Assets button. This allows you to add things like images, movies and 3D models. With image selected, I can now add images into the system. I can do this either by typing in a file location and pressing the Add Image File button, or by dragging images into the yellow box. I'll drag some image files in now. By the way, there are 30 banks you can use for each type of asset. I'm adding these images to Image Bank 1. Once they're added, these images can be used in all the TXV modules. Now I'll go to the TXV Modules tab, and I'm going to add a TXV image module by selecting it and pressing the Add button. In the next column you can see that TXV image has been added. Before we look at the image module, I'm going to press the Draw Connections button. On this window I'm going to add a draw connection between image 1 and TXV system 1. This will draw the image onto the TXV window. So I'll select TXV image 1 and TXV system 1. The layer number gives a choice of 20 layers that can be used. Each layer is drawn in sequential order. Since this image is going to be used as a background image, I want it to be on layer 1 so it's behind everything else on the screen. So now I'll add the draw connection by pressing the Add button. We still don't see anything on the screen yet because we haven't chosen which image to show. So now I'll go to TXV image 1 by pressing the Edit module button and selecting TXV image 1. Now I can select an image in Source Image Asset and it will appear on the screen. For now I'm going to use the first image of clouds. There are black borders above and below the image. This is because the clouds image has a different aspect ratio to the TXV window. Aspect ratio means the ratio of the width to the height. To get rid of the black borders, I'll set the Source Image Scale mode to be Scale and Crop to Fill. I could also use Stretch to Fill, although stretching can sometimes look a bit strange, especially if you stretch more in one direction than the other. For this example, I'm also going to mask the image. If I press the Mask button, I can then select a mask shape. The options include using another image as a mask, as well as various shapes, but for now I'll use the feathered oval, and I'll make the feathering much smaller. Now I want to adjust the colors of the clouds image, so I'm going to change things a little bit. I need to add a new TXV module, so I'll go back to the TXV system module, and probably the quickest way to do that from any TXV module is to press the button that says Show Parent TXV System. So now on the TXV Modules tab, I'm going to select Image Effects, which will show a smaller group of modules. All of these modules change the image in some way and then they render a new image. This allows you to set up a chain of FX modules. To demonstrate, I'll do that now. Several of the image effects modules deal with color, but for now I'll select the simplest one, TXV Color Controls, and add it. I'm also going to add another module, TXV Kaleidoscope, which I'll use after the color controls. On the TXV window, we are currently seeing the original clouds image that I selected. In order to show the image made by color controls, I'm going to edit TXV Image 1, press the Source Image button, and change External Source Image Module to TXV Color Controls 1. And I'll turn on the switch that says Use External Source Image. Now the screen goes black because we haven't selected an image yet inside Color Controls. So I'll open it up now, and on the Image tab I'll select the Clouds image. Again, to get rid of the black borders, we can change Source Image Scale mode to Scale and Crop to Fill. Now we can see the clouds and change the colors on the Color Adjust tab. I'll play with the settings a bit to change the image. There's a slider called FX Mix at the bottom. Changing this sets the depth of the effect and lets you compare the changed image to the original version. So just to recap, we've got an original image of clouds going through the Color Controls module. Then the image being rendered by Color Controls is being taken by TXV Image 1, which adds an oval mask to it. So now I'll bring in the kaleidoscope. So I'll go back to TXV Image 1, press the Source Image button, and change the external source image this time to TXV Kaleidoscope 1. This is so that the kaleidoscope comes after the color controls but before the mask is added. Again, the screen goes black because we haven't selected an image yet in the kaleidoscope module. So I'll open it up, and on the Source Image tab I'll change External Source Image Module to be TXV Color Controls 1. Then I'll switch on Use External Source Image. We can see the clouds again, now with the kaleidoscope added. I'll change some of the kaleidoscope settings. One thing to point out is that because of the oval mask, there's a black border to the image. To change the border color, I'll go to TXV System 1, and click on Draw Background. Now I can change the background color of the TXV window to anything I like. So looking at the overall system so far, we have an image chain that goes from the original clouds image through the color controls, through the kaleidoscope, and finally through the TXV image, which is adding the oval mask. Then we have a draw connection linking the TXV Image 1 to TXV System 1 so that the final image gets drawn on the screen. Now I've got this chain set up, it's easy to try it with another starting image. So I'll open up TXV Color Controls 1, and on the Image tab I can change the source image asset. Let's try out some different images now. So that's the end of part 1. I'll save this system so I can use it again in part 2. Bye for now.